Good afternoon. My name is Alfonso Meriweather, and I'm in Dr. Benson's African American Literature 244, Section 2. And I just want to take some time to discuss the importance of African American literature and sort of the role that it plays in our lives. Um, when talking about African American literature, I don't think you can talk about it and not go back to the Harlem Renaissance, which was a time where African American literature and arts and all that were booming. It's pretty much the time to where blacks were thriving in every aspect of life. We were everything that we wanted to be, everything we ever strived to be, all that, and there was no one to tell us, that we couldn't achieve what we wanted. A lot of people that made that possible. One of them being W.E.B. Du Bois. He was a scholar and educator. Um, he wrote many works of arts that um, kind of translated how life how life should be. Um, he had started the or helped to start the NAACP, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, which fought for social, political, civil rights of African Americans during that time. And that was important because a lot of the works that African Americans did may not have gotten recognition or may not have been taken seriously. That was kind of hard for him to get his point across sometimes with Booker T. Washington, another influential scholar of that time. It's kind of like they were almost rivals. Booker T. Washington was born, he was the last leader of that time born in the slavery era, or towards the end of it. So he kind of saw the world differently. Um, he saw it as blacks, we should kind of merge our ideas with the ideas of our oppressors. When W.B. Du Bois was trying to get away from that by saying that we don't necessarily need to merge, we need our voice to be heard and our opinion to matter. And our works, such as our art and our literature, whatever the case may be, it should be seen as for what it was during that time, as important, something that everyone could learn from, not just blacks. So that was one thing. Um, and then there were a couple other things that we had learned throughout this course. Um, One of them being from the a piece of literature by Charles Chestnut. It was called "The Wife of His Youth," and basically just told the story of a man that was living a lifestyle that many blacks during that time period were not able to live. Um, he was educated. Um, a lot of people looked up to him, so he was he was going down a path that was fitting for every black person during this time, of what they wanted to be. Um, he just got a hold of a lot of things people didn't. So basically, the main gist of the story was that he'd been living within the society, and he was supposed to marry this woman. She was very fair skinned. Um, she was intelligent. She lived a great lifestyle. She had a good upbringing. Pretty much every black woman wanted to be her. Um, so he was supposed to marry her, but long story short, this woman had come into town who was the complete opposite of her, and she was real black, wasn't as pretty, may not have looked as young and fair, but she instilled something that the other woman did not, and the main character had seen in her. Um, and it just went to show that, you don't have to be um, you don't have to be what the world wants you to be. Just be who you feel that you should be. Um, so that was important work that we had read. Um, and the reason I say it's important is because it really does show you um, that not everything is cracked up what it's meant to be, and that you can kind of go off the path um, of what everyone else wants you to be on. And then there was another work that we had read titled The Autobiography of Ex-Colored Man. And basically, it told the story of a man who had lived a life that it was common during this period because there was a lot of, I don't know, crossbreeding between blacks and whites, whether it was accepted or not. And he kind of got to see the world from the point of view of a black man and a white man. Of course, he chose after seeing the lifestyle of a black man how his life would be throughout this period. He got to kind of choose to be white only because he could pass for it. So he saw the world with two sets of eyes, and so that kind of goes back to how we live life today. A lot of blacks, some of us may get better opportunities than others just because our skin may be fair, or um, we may appear to be smarter just because one is lighter skin or maybe they're darker skin, whatever the case may be. Um, so those are kind of the main important things that um, I would say spurs from African American literature when you're talking about it. Um, so with that being said, I would highly recommend that you take this class, whether you're black or not. Um, Being that it will teach you a lot about yourself, it taught me that um, the world the world isn't just what you think it is. It it can be told from many points of views, and there are lots. Booker T. Washington and W. E. Du Bois are the prime example of that, of how you can have two black men who see the world very, very differently, but may want the same change, but don't go about it the same way. So I would really highly recommend that you take this class, and that's it.